So, perhaps one of the biggest legends of Welsh music is John Cale. Primarily because he was in the Velvet Underground, one of my favourite bands. And when I was a kid, I got into that. I thought it was cool that there was a Welshman in the Velvet Underground. I thought that was amazing. You know, you couldn't really fathom how did that happen. How did these New Yorkers? And then when you looked into it, obviously he was already a very accomplished musician when he joined the Velvet Underground. But great solo records as well. Fear, Paris 1919. Is it 1919? I get it wrong. It's a long time ago. But yeah, wonderful pop songwriter. And you always get that with Cale, you always hear that Welshness in his voice. It's like slipping into a bowl of ready brack, tucking yourself away. Bit of honey. His velvety voice. But yeah, and I love his stuff that he did later with Lou Reed. Songs for Drella album is one of my favourites. I think that's a lovely piece between them. But very angry man. Very, very angry. I saw him at the Festival of Voice once. I'm not sure what the album he was promoting, but I think he had an album out, maybe Homo Sapiens, but I think it was a bit later than that. And we were all very excited. And he had his back to the audience. He was playing about with his guitar. He hadn't done a song yet. And someone shouted, "We love you, John." And he turned around and he went, "What?" And it was just... Oh. So I don't know what was happening that day. Probably not the right cushions in the green room. I know what that feels like.